Injury front, Justin's playing. Jermaine's out. Jarvis is out. Kane, we're still evaluating, and we'll have an answer on that as this week continues to progress. And the rest of the guys that we talked about earlier in the week, those guys did a really good job this week. The mindset has not changed from earlier in the week as far as going to Miami and trying to get a win. This week has been a really good week of prep, a really good week of practice. We want to end this week on a good note. I understand today is typically a red zone day for us. But one thing that we don't say around here is the heads in the barn. We're always getting ourselves ready to go play a game all the way to the very end. So looking forward to finishing this week out on a good note and going to Miami, and again, expecting to win from our guys. So any questions?
What does the return of Justin do for your offense?
No different than we've talked about, all during training camp and what he did in our first game. He's a dynamic runner. He's a smart player. I think in the passing game, it showed exactly what he can do, that first game. And we want to continue to expound on that and continue to get better. This week has been a week of for the most part, of improvement. And I think from the first game, how our guys came out, did a pretty good job. We got punched in the mouth in the second game. Third game, our guys responded very, very well and played hard, played fast, played physical, and had a chance to win the game. So this week, I'm expecting, more improvement. And that's more than anything what I'm looking for. And I know exactly how our guys will respond. And we're looking forward to going out there and playing.
Was he cleared yesterday or this morning?
From protocol, it was yesterday.
What changed from how good Justin looked week one to those hiccups that he had in week two?
Every week is different, and I think you have to understand, if you've been in this league for a long time, that I wish you can be at the top of your game every week, but that's just not realistic. And when things went the way it went in that game, it got to a point to where we really couldn't do the things that we wanted to do. And it took all of us out of our game, offense, defense, and special teams. So we want to try to make sure we stay away from those things and try to keep him on track, try to keep our offense on track to exactly what we do well. And hopefully we can do that this week.
How much does the team just need a win, to reaffirm kind of everything you guys have been doing all offseason and all the work you put in?
How much do we need a win?
Need a win, or how desperate is this team for a win?
We don't go a week without thinking that we need a win. So I'm trying to really understand how to answer that question. I mean, I think it's every week we're trying to win. And every week is important to win. So I would look at every week as a needed part of winning.
Were you encouraged last week as far as the improvement in the red zone defensively and what you guys have been doing on third down as well?
Well, there's a number of things that I'm encouraged by when it comes to how we're doing on defense. And the one thing I think our guys do a really good job of is really understand exactly where we are and how we need to respond to certain situations. And as you look at it, went from 34-30 to 22 points given up. When you look at it, I think third down, we're in the top 10 in third down. We're in the top 15, I think, in red zone. So there's improvement that's going exactly how we need to go. We just got to continue to trend in that direction. And every week, that's what I look for. How are we trending? Now, if we're trending the other way, then that's a huge issue. Right? But our guys are trending in the right direction, which I am encouraged by.
How much of that trending in the right direction could be sped along by, I know you talked about last week, they got close to a lot of sacks, but couldn't quite get Baker down. How important is that as a part of it?
Well, Baker's a pretty good player.
Yeah.
And, he's going to make his plays. I think he's shown that over the years he's been in this league. And we do have to have a finish mentality, and that's one thing that we've talked about all week is being able to finish. And that's in a number of different ways. We want to finish the run. We want to finish the catch. We want to finish the play. We want to finish on the ball. Most importantly, we want to finish the game. So there's a number of things we look at when it comes to finishing, and that is one of them. I mean, that's not just sacks. That's in every category when it comes to football.
The one thing that was, I think it's cliche, but this is a copycat league. And usually when a team finds something, the next team does a little bit more, does a little bit more, does a little bit more. Have you guys spent an increased amount of time in practice this week with blitz pickups and things of that nature after what Todd and the Bucs were able to do a week ago?
You talking about 1 week?
I'm just kidding. Well, that was the first week we really saw it.
Yeah, you're talking about 1 week that, that those guys did a pretty good job. And Todd has done a really good job over his career of being able to do that. So, but you're right. Anytime that you look at a team and they pressure, like this team, they pressure quite a bit. From a fire zone perspective, we have to make sure we do a good job of picking those things up. But listen, this is a tough league against, some of these guys that do a really good job of understanding protection and attacking protection. We just got to make sure that we can counter those things.
How did Malachi do in his first extended action last week? And does he have a role now with Tony coming back? Or will he have a role?
Well, he's always had a role. And we make sure we understand, the role that he has. It's not for me to tell you guys, but he always has a role. But I think he did a pretty good job. There's always room for improvement. He's a rookie, and he makes some rookie mistakes, but to be expected, from a rookie. But he's going to be a damn good player for us, and I'm looking for the way that he progresses as these weeks go by. But there won't be a week that we go on where he doesn't have a role.
There is, it's common that when there are some struggles from players that are known like veterans, that there's cries to get the rookies in. Whether it's more, whether it's easy, get the guys in, get the guys in, get the guys in. Can you just speak a little bit to the acclimation period that rookies experience, and that you might want to see them because they're the unknown, but at the same time, you don't want to throw them out there too early.
Yeah, but we have a plan for all of our guys, and it's our job to make sure when those guys play, we don't listen because we know what's going on. We try to make sure when the time is right, those guys are being. It's just like when you have a rookie quarterback, how sometimes guys put him in as a starter immediately. Some guys wait, and let those guys see exactly what's going on in the game. And we do the same thing with each guy. And we know each guy from a personal, really in-depth on when it's time. And we focus on that more than anything than saying, okay, we just got to throw this guy out there. Some guys are ready to go, as a rookie, and they're ready to play right away. Some guys, that's not ready to do that just yet. And we try to make sure we do what's right when it comes to the player. What's
going to be key for your young linebackers this week, guys like Kiko and Cam against an offense who but with the shifts in the that's huge. That's a really good question because it's a lot of eye candy that's going on with this team, and they have to be very disciplined when it comes to their eyes and how they utilize their eyes. And for the most part, Kiko's a really smart player. And, I think he's going to do a really good job. And the reason why we brought these other guys on because we saw something in them that they can help us, special teams and when it comes to defense. So make sure your eyes are in the right place. And for the most part, man, they go out there and play. Don't try to hold anything back. Go out there and play. When you make a mistake, we'll correct you. All right, but just keep going.
Couple more. Do you have any memories of McDaniel in Cleveland?
Yeah, I do. Really good receiver coach at that point. I think he's a very, very bright individual when it comes to offensive football. Obviously, we know what he's done in the run game when he came from San Francisco. And he was a huge part of helping Cal, when we was in Cleveland as far as how the offense is going. And I don't see that changing when it comes to how these guys, run their offense. They create some issues. And obviously they create issues with the personnel that they have, but the scheme creates issues also. And a lot of that has to do with him. So we have to be on top of our game, which we will be. And, again, we expect to go out there and do well.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
All right.